There are people all over the place, and maybe you're one of them, or maybe you know someone like this, that no matter what is hurting in their teeth or gums, they will not go to the dentist. They're afraid of the dentist, maybe the examination, the drilling, whatever the case may be. The point is that there's something that has to do with that examination that is painful. You know, my brother and my dad, both firefighters, paramedics, EMTs in the industry, would tell me stories about people who maybe get into an auto accident, maybe someone has a heart attack, you name it, it's happened. And that particular person would call them every name in the book. Whenever they got to the actual scene and trying to help the person, they would say, "No, get away from me. I can't stand this." And I think what it was the pain that they were feeling was manifesting itself in rejection and pushing away and all of that. They knew that they had to be triaged. They knew that they had to be examined. They knew that they had to be helped. But for some reason, this was the reflex. Now, this is an extreme example of something I think we go through as Christians when God wants to examine our hearts. So we get anxious. When God is calling us to a period of examination, of reflection, we want to push it away sometimes because we get anxious about the pain. There's something in our lives that perhaps has put a barrier in between us and God, and we don't want that torn down because we built that for safety. So whether it's an addiction, whether it is something else going on in our lives, whether it's just a pain response, like I said, we don't want to go through that examination. But God calls us to that. And in Psalm 139, he says this. The psalmist is encouraging God to examine him. And that is a painful thing sometimes. And he says this, Psalm 139, 23 through 24, "Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there's any offensive way in me and lead me in the way everlasting." It's a beautiful passage, right? I mean, it sounds great. In fact, I could probably say that some of you have that on a magnet, on a pillow, on a framed picture in your house, and it's beautiful. It's poetic. But if we were really to be honest with ourselves, we would probably say that examination is a painful one. I want God to search my heart, but I don't want him to find anything. I want him to call me out on things, but I don't want to have things to call me out on. I want to be held accountable, but as long as the accountability part's not there. As human beings, we want God to guide us, but we also just kind of want to already be going the right way. God wants us to interact with him on a deep level. In the times where we have to clear out a closet that needs cleared out in our house, or a junk drawer that we've been avoiding for years. It's that instance of being able to examine, reflect, clean out, move forward, that actually puts us on a better trajectory than if we were just to sit there and actually become such friends with our misery. And God wants us to live in joy. So that's my thought for today. Allow God to examine your heart and be honest about what is found. And let's move forward.